4 o'clock in the morning.
Hello everyone, welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I'm your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show. Got the blue collar, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. One of my viewers came into the store and he said, "Why don't you wear a blue collar? You're the blue collar wine guy." Good idea. Not sure if I'm going to do it all the time, but I would like to get it. Does anybody know where I can get one of those like fake collars that you can put around your neck, blue collar? I don't know. We'll give it a try. Good suggestion. I like it. March is Washington Wine Month, so I'm probably doing 7 episodes. I am not doing one Tuesday. No, I'm not going to do one Tuesday. I'm going to be gone for a couple of days, the first part of the week, so I'm not going to try and figure out how I can publish a video on Tuesday. So we will not do one this coming Tuesday, but we will want to do a video on Friday. And so that would be about 7 videos where I concentrate on Washington wines for Washington Wine Month. And this is the original Washington Wine Month. This is the one they added August later. I finally embraced August, so we'll probably do a few episodes in August, barring anything that happens to me. I hope I'm still around then. So we're going to look at Rosé from Washington State. And I was watching a video with Charles Beeler and Charles Smith. And Charles Beeler, that's how they Charles and Charles wines got started, because Charles Beeler wanted to do a rosé with Charles Smith because he felt like Washington could make some of the best rosés, well, next to Provence in France. And you know, I have to agree with him. There's some great rosé that come out of Washington State. We're going to do 3 here. It looks like 4, but I have to use a prop bottle because Brent wrote all over the front of the bottle's sample. All 3 are different grapes. Well, actually, Syrah is dominant in 2 of them. But basically different styles of rosé. So I'm excited to get into this. I love rosé. I'm a big rosé nut. Are you a big rosé nut? What? You know, it's funny, but rosé last summer took off. I mean, it really took off. And we sold a ton of it. I love rosé. I drink it all the time. In fact, Susie, my girlfriend, was surprised at how much rosé I drank during the summer. She did not realize that I liked rosé so much. So this one really rocked. I believe, I could be wrong, but I think this is their second vintage of And Why I Am Mr. Pink. And this is the Underground Wine Project. Trey Bush and Mark McNeely do this together. Shout out to Trey Bush, great guy, I love that dude. He makes some great wine, sleight of hand cellars, and of course Mark McNeely is Mark Ryan Winery. So here's a little close-up. Goes 12 bucks. Mr. Pink, of course named after the dude in Reservoir Dogs. I think Steve Buscemi played that character. By the way, last episode I did Greek wines and I butchered the name. Sorry about that. You know, that's one of the appeals of the show is I do my best, but sometimes I mess up. So don't say, when you're saying the grape Azerticos, don't pronounce it that way, please. It's Citricos. Citricos is how you say it. Aceticos is the proper way to pronounce that name. Aceticos. Yeah, that's it. Aceticos. So when you're saying that grape, that's how you would say it. Don't say it the way I said it. I don't want to mislead you in any way. I found a really cool app called Forvo where you plug it in and it kind of gives you the correct pronunciation. Shout out to Alan for pointing that out to me. He has done that in the past. But anyway, I'm not really stuck on it. If you say Voigne to me, I'm not going to correct you unless you ask me to. That's the way I roll. I know what you're talking about. That's really what counts. All right, let's see what we get on the nose with the Mr. Pink. This is a Sangiovese rosé. Sangiovese is really popular to use in Washington State. Great grape here. We know it's predominantly grown in Chianti in Italy, but boy, they do some great Sangiovese in Washington State. So let's see what we get on the nose. Great color, by the way. A lot of people like that lighter colored rosé. I don't necessarily predicate base my judgment on a rosé by its color, but I understand why people like the lighter rosés because they're fresher. They're usually a little bit leaner, and that's what a lot of people like. So let's see what we get on the nose. Right off the bat, I get peaches and watermelon. Yeah, I like the nose on this one. And that's, you know, a lot of times with rosé, the bouquet is fairly, sometimes when you get into Provence, you get a little minerality, you get a little of that provincial herbs, but usually from Washington State, you get a lot of watermelon, just a hint of bubble yum, bubblicious, maybe some cherry or strawberry bubblicious, and watermelon and peaches. Let's see what we get in the palate. This one's going to rock it again this year. Nice and fresh, clean, good acidity, almost mouth-watering when you drink it. I get a little bit of that bubblicious coming through, sort of a watermelon, cherry, a little bit of watermelon rind, a little bit of peach skin coming through on this one. I'm even getting some apple notes coming through right on the back end. This is fresh, this is clean, this is delicious. This is what a lot of people like about rosé. Great with oysters, clams. If you're having a salad, this would be perfect with salad. I'm getting a little bit of citrus on the back end, which is really cool. Nice and laser sharp. I mean, my mouth is still watering. The finish is really lingering. Nice job, guys, on this rosé. I'm going to go A-. I think it's an excellent rosé. I don't like it when the bubble gum gets to be a prominent part of it, but there's just a little bit. It's perfect. I like it. Let's move on. Good start. Totally new package for Milbrandt. Let's see. Did I say the vintage on Mr. Pink? I think this is 2016, right? Yep. Just to go back, yeah, 2016. This stuff will not be around long, I can guarantee you. So this is a 2016 Milbrandt Rosé. This is a blend of Syrah and Tempranillo. And this rolls in at $12. Great new label for Milbrandt. Good job, guys. Good job, Butch. Way to go. Excited to try this. Totally new package. I've always liked Milbrandt's rosés. Excited about this. By the way, you can make rosé two ways. Well, they call it the Saunier method, where they bleed off a certain amount of the juice. Saunier means bleed in French, basically, roughly. So they bleed off a little bit of the juice. That becomes just a little bit of skin contact gives it the color. They use that juice and make rosé, and then they will use the rest of the grapes for their, whether it's Syrah, Tempranillo, Sangiovese. Some people just make a straight up rosé. That's what they do. They press the grapes, leave them on the skins just long enough to give it color, and then they make the rosé. And you know, the rest of the grapes go off to, you know, whatever. But they don't use the grapes for their other wines. They just make the rosé. So a more expensive approach for sure, but so that's the way some guys roll. They just like to do it that way. Let's see what we get on the nose. 2016 Milbrandt Rosé. A little more muted than the Mr. Pink. This one's a little, I'm getting more of the, like a mango, strawberry element, and a little bit of herbs coming through on this one, which I find quite interesting. No bubble gum on this one at all, at least not what I'm getting. Yeah, more in that kind of fleshy, pitted fruit sort of area. Let's see what we get on the palate. Laser sharp on the palate. I mean, there's just like beam of acidity that kind of carries across. Almost gives it like a steely sort of thing, like you licked on, you have ball bearings in your mouth, or you licked on a stainless steel tank. and a lot of, I'm getting citrus with that mango and peach, that fleshy kind of fruit thing going on. I get some slight cherry notes on the mid palate. There is an herbal component that makes this very interesting wine. I like that nice herbal thing that kind of comes through on the finish. Again, I think a lot of people are going to like this rosé. It's fresh, it's clean, it's delicious, and it's got some interesting complexities that Mr. Pink didn't have. I love the Mr. Pink. This has just got some, I like the herbal notes that hang on, sort of like dried herbs. I'm trying to tag maybe some tarragon, basil. But I love that like nice fresh beam of acidity that comes right through the center. Very linear on this one. I'm liking it. Love the color on this one too. Both of these are going to do well. I'm going to go A- on that one. I just like that herbal component, that just added layer of complexity to that wine. And zero bubblegum on that one at all, which is not a flaw as long as it's not too dominant, in my personal opinion, my palate. You know, just to qualify there. All right, let's move on to some local boys. This is the, I'm going to use the prop bottle. This is the 2016 Lopez Island Vineyard Rosé, Yakima Valley. Did I read the appellations on this? I don't even know if I saw the appellations. Columbia Valley on the Milbrandt. Sorry about that. It's like I've never done this before. Columbia Valley on the Mr. Pink. There you go. Lopez Island Vineyards Rosé, Yakima Valley, 2016. This rolls in at $18. So we're getting a little bit more serious here. Obviously smaller production. Now they put this on the front, LIV. When they first did that, it really confused some of the locals and the tourists. They weren't sure what that meant. It stands for Lopez Island Vineyard. I think a little period after the L and the I would have helped the cause to show it's an acronym, but you know, it's their winery. They can do whatever they want. All right, let's give it a little rinse. This is Syrah Merlot based. So you get a little darker color, and that turns some people off, but let me just add this for you guys. I'm going to put this down here. Don't let the color fool you. A lot of times it'll be dark in color but very dry. Don't think that just because it's dark it's going to be fruity. But to add to that, a lot of people do like fruitier style rosé. But let's see what we get here. I'm really curious about this one, kind of excited. Let's see what we get on the nose. So Syrah Merlot. Very muted on the nose. I'm not getting a whole lot. Hard pressed to get anything. I'm getting interesting like plum. There's not a lot there. What can I tell you? Aromatically, a little challenge. Let's see what we get on the palate. Has a kind of a roundness to it, but it's still very dry. I like it. I get a lot of plums on this one. Plums with a little bit of cherry skin, you know, like ripe cherry skins coming through. And there's also an herbal component on the back of this one. It's a little muted on the palate. It doesn't like pop in my palate, but very, very subtle, very smooth. You know, this is a smooth rosé. I mean, it's got a lot of debonair. You know, it's like a rosé wearing really nice clothes. You know, got the tie on and the coat. I mean, it is smooth. It's a cool rosé. This is a rosé that if you're not into the higher acid, this has good acidity, but if you're not into that, you're really going to like this rosé. I mean, it is smooth and cool. It is delicious. It's got that nice roundness on the palate, which is kind of cool. A little different, a little more muted in the flavors. It doesn't have that pop on the palate that a lot of us look for when we're having rosé. This actually reminds me of a Tavel a little bit. Tavel, that's all they do in the Rhone Valley is rosé, and it's, you know, usually has the same kind of muted, more delicious, rounder feel on the palate. Finish is nice and dry. Don't be scared of this one because of the color. It is a really good rosé. You know, just to be fair, just in stylistically different, I'm going to go A- on this one too. I think it's an excellent job. I think it's different, but it's very good in a lot of different ways. This also would go well with salad, with shellfish, but this could also go with chicken. It could go with things like that, like ham. It's got that nice fullness in the palate, finishes dry. I like it a lot. Good job. At first I was like, oh, but then the more I thought about it, you know, has nothing to do with being local boys. I don't mind thumping on them if I have to, but nice job across the board. A little bit more money. Remember, this is a smaller production winery, so you know they usually have to charge a little bit more to make a little bit of money, but 18 bucks is not bad for that. I'm going to go A- on all three of them. Excellent job. I'm really happy about this episode. I'm looking forward to celebrating Washington Wine Month with you guys. Thanks for watching. Remember, read my blogs, StanTheWineMan.com, the Blue Collar Wine Guy, and the PI. I'll put up my pick of the week tomorrow. I just posted my Fridays 13 on StanTheWineMan.com. And follow me on Twitter, @StanTheWineMan. Make a comment. Give me suggestions. Got the blue collar on. Do you like that? Should I wear a blue collar every time? Or is the name just what it is? I'm the working class wine guy. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.
Hey, Dad. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I just left the studio. Here we are in Harlem. Everybody's here but the police, and they'll be here any minute. It's high time. So catch the song. Here it is.